Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back for another DIY bathroom makeover on a budget. Now I've already remade this space once, turned it from the builder grade bathroom we moved into in our rented house into this fun tile pattern on the floor. These are peel and stick removable tiles, so you may be wondering why even bother with another makeover. I already did this space once. The biggest problem that I have in this space actually are these tiles. They were super fun to have for a little while. They were a fun bright pattern, very different than the rest of the house, but with our dog Bucky, his hair is absolutely everywhere in our house. He sheds an unbelievable amount, and the hair was starting to get stuck underneath these tiles, which made them impossible to clean. So the maintenance of these tiles were just not ideal for our family, and I was honestly just ready for a little bit of a switch up. So I'm gonna start in this space by pulling up all of this peel and stick tile, and I'm very thankful we have some beautiful vinyl flooring beneath this to work with. It's a great foundation for this space that we're going to be taking in a little bit of a different direction. So stay tuned if you're ready for some more DIYs, painting of this room, a couple different upgrades, and just a different vibe coming to this space. I love this bathroom now. It's just very calm and peaceful when you walk into it now, whereas this floor tile used to be a little bit busy and definitely drove me crazy with the dog hair that I could see sticking through. So I hope you will hang out for this whole video, this entire room makeover transformation, and after you watch this video, I will have a bunch of other room makeovers linked down below and right here for you guys to check out. I did this all over our rental house, so all of these projects are renter friendly as long as you're not afraid to do the hard work of repainting everything back to the original color. But enough of me chattering, let's get into this DIY. It was hard to capture on the camera, but hopefully you guys can see the residue left behind by these tiles. It's definitely not a super simple just peel up the tiles and then your floor is ready to go. It took a lot of work in scrubbing to actually clean these floors, and I wasn't quite sure how to do it without damaging the flooring beneath it. So this night it was already pretty late, so I tried to just work with some things in our pantry. So I tried using some vinegar and baking soda, and that kind of worked, but it definitely was not going to be effective at cleaning the entire floor. I knew that I would have to go out the next day and buy the big guns, and trust me guys, Goo Gone is going to be your best friend if you have peel and stick projects like this. I went to Home Depot the following morning, picked up a very large bottle of this, and then grabbed some towels that I was totally okay with destroying. I honestly don't know if this is meant to be used on a surface this large, but for our project it worked. It just took a while. So day one of this project was ripping up all that floor tile. The next day, I spent the entire time just working on getting all of the adhesive and the goo off the floor, and there's still a little bit left in some corners that I definitely need to go back to and clean up with a bit, but honestly, it was a lot of elbow grease for someone who is 35, 36 weeks pregnant to be doing all of this, so I'm really pleased with how clean I got it, but just trust me, if you start a project like this, you're gonna have to put in a lot of elbow grease to get all of that residue off. Once all the adhesive was cleaned up, I got a multi-surface spray and a microfiber cloth to clean up the residue from the Goo Gone. It's a pretty oily substance, so I did that, and then also just used an e-cloth mop with some water to make sure the floors were nice and clean and easy to walk on. And then I'm gonna start prepping the rest of this bathroom. So taking out all of the little last minute decor, and also pulling out my favorite DIY tool, this Elmer's wood filler. I'll link the last bathroom DIY here for you guys to check out, where we actually installed this trim piece pretty inexpensively, but over time some cracks had formed in the seams, and I wanted to just touch it up to give it more of a seamless look, especially right here where I clearly did not cut the length properly. So I wanted to fill in these seams a little bit more, make it look a little bit more professional and well done. I'm also going to use painter's tape to prep the room for painting. The floor tiles were the #1 reason I wanted to change up this space, but the color of paint on the wall in here was definitely a close runner-up. Something about this gray tone just never sat right with me. I am learning a lot as I go with these DIY projects, and one lesson that I learned the hard way in this bathroom is being very careful about picking your paint color. If you guys saw the original bathroom makeover, you know I actually painted this room twice, so I was not going to repeat the mistake this time. When I went to Home Depot to grab a Goo Gone, I also picked up a ton of paint swatches. I brought those home, held them up inside of the bathroom, and narrowed it down to 3, and then I actually took the can of touch-up paint from our house and painted a swatch of that directly next to it so I could see up close what the contrast would look like. I ended up choosing the color Roman Plaster by Behr, and I am in love with this. So now day 3 of this project was totally focused on painting. I'm definitely moving a lot slower with this DIY project. It's also a much smaller scale of a DIY project. We're not building anything crazy or pulling out any saws or lumber or anything wild. We're just kind of refinishing a space. But something this room taught me is that the simplest changes can make a huge difference in this space. Like I already mentioned, this room now just feels so calm when I walk into it, and I think going with a very similar color to the original wall color definitely contributes to that. I think bathrooms should definitely be a peaceful place, and I played with the idea of going with this bottom panel being a much darker, moodier color, but I'm so happy I went with a light color that is barely a shade off from the top half of the room because it still makes this room feel light and bright and airy. The floors in here are pretty dark and the lighting in this space isn't the greatest, so if I went with one of those darker, moodier colors that I think are gorgeous in some settings, I think it would have just been too overwhelming in this space. It would have made it feel smaller and claustrophobic and highlight the lack of lighting in here. So choosing a lighter, brighter color I think definitely worked with this space, but also still gave some contrast to the upper half of the wall, if that makes any sense. I'm sure a lot of you are going to disagree with me. Not everybody who watches my videos loves my design choices, and like I said before, I'm making mistakes during these projects. I'm definitely not the perfect interior designer or even make the right decision on the first or the second try. Like I've already said, this is the 3rd color of paint on this wall, and for all I know, it could change in a couple of months, but I think I'm learning and moving in the right direction, and that's what all of these DIY projects are about. We're not hiring contractors and professionals to style and do all the work for us. A lot of us are just trying to figure this out as we go, do it on a budget, do it on a dime, and do it with our own skill sets, and it's amazing to see how much you can develop new skills through this process. So I am loving the process of turning this house into a home and just playing with design and not being afraid to make bold choices like the peel and stick tiles because I know I can just peel it up and remove it. Sometimes I think it's a total blessing that we're in a rental unit right now where our decisions are not permanent. I didn't actually put that tile into the floor with grout and make it permanent. It's just a sticker that I can peel up. So it's been really fun to play with things in this space, and I'm so grateful for the experience and all the lessons I'm learning along the way. One coat of paint was plenty in this space, so I'm going to take off all of the painter's tape. And one thing you guys might have noticed is typically I will paint the floor and any ceiling edges with painter's tape too, but like I said, I've gotten more confident in my painting skills and trim skills, so I didn't bother with this space just for some of these smaller fixtures. And then we're going to move on to playing with some more styling in this space. I'm taking down this frame from IKEA that was previously hanging in there, and I'm going to be painting it black. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't appreciate or don't love the super neutral tones I keep in my home. To each their own. I just love having a very clean, very neutral, very bright and light colored home. And it does make doing DIY projects pretty easy because I basically have my favorite colors of paint, white, black, and beige, on hand at all time. So here I just pulled out a can of black paint that was already in our garage. So this little mini frame DIY is costing me $0, and I'm just gonna paint this black. I have been trying to be a little more bold recently, and yes, it is bold for me. Say what you will, all of our styles are different. I generally like only light colors in my home, but I've been trying to be more bold and go for some darker standout pieces, and I think adding a black contrast frame to the bathroom will definitely stand out in there. I'm only going to show the first coat of paint going on here, but the frame did soak up quite a bit of the black, and I really wanted it a very dark color, so I went for a second coat of paint and then laid it down to dry, and then went back to pay attention to the floors in the bathroom once again. This time I was pulling out a Swiffer pad, and I was just desperate to get these floors even just marginally cleaner, just pick up a little more of the residue left behind, because scrubbing by toilets on the ground is not fun, and I didn't want to pull up the Goo Gone. I think I probably will have to do the edges a little bit more, because you can see that the Swiffer pad was still sticking in a few spots, but it definitely was clean enough to at least walk in there now. And by the time that was done, my frame was dry, and it was time to get to the fun part of these rooms, which is styling. A lot of things going back in this bathroom were already here to start with. It's the same bath mat, even the same frame, but a few little things will be changing, and I definitely left in a lot of clips in this video of me trying out some decor and it not working out and me switching it out a bunch of times. Sometimes it's a little too easy in these videos to delete out all of the mistakes and the changes you make, but I definitely wanted to keep this video real with you guys and show you that it's totally a designing process. I am trying different things. I am running around my house grabbing random decor pieces and just shopping different areas of my home nonstop to find something that I actually like, and sometimes that can be a big struggle. So I wanted to highlight for you guys here that it is not the first time that I put something down that I actually keep it and like it in this space. A lot of the time this is probably the longest part of the process, and I'll spend days still slightly adjusting things, living with it, changing it a little bit, and then going back how it was before. But that is the last thing we are doing in this space. Let's check out some of these before shots and then look at the afters for how this bathroom looks, and let me know down below which version you like better, the first bathroom makeover with the tile or the updated bathroom makeover. Don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings if we choose differently. I definitely prefer the new bathroom makeover, but everyone's style is different. But that is a great thing about YouTube. You can watch these videos and enjoy the DIY process without it actually being in your own home. But that's a wrap on this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!